Hey everybody, final thoughts time for Far Space Foundry, which is a very clever game. I mean, this thing is really very unique. I mean, I don't know what you would call this central element, you know, the actual Foundry space station itself. Is it a Moncala? Is it a Rondell? I'm really not sure. It's not quite like anything else I've ever played. I mean, you know, it's not like the Moncala in Finca or Trajan or something like that. It's not like the Rondells in Matt Gertz games like, you know, Navigador or, Antique or what have you. It's really its own beast, and it creates a very cool puzzle that this entire game revolves around as you're constantly trying to get stuff on and off of this station with a very limited hand of cards and always trying to, outguess your opponent because, you know, their moves can very radically affect you and what you're capable of doing, because it's all about trying to achieve peak efficiency with every move you do. Because you want to do a lot of stuff and you have very little time to do it. Actually, the first half of the game really does kind of feel fairly wide open as you're just kind of, you know, picking stuff up and moving things around and hiring new pilots. But then all of a sudden, next thing you know, oh my God, I'm out of cards and I'm running out of time and I've got to get these last few things. If you end up leaving stuff in your warehouse as you fly off to Beta Foundry, you just wasted it. That was wasted stuff. So you want to try and make sure everything works out just right. And it gets even trickier because throughout the entire first half of the game, you're always remembering what it is you can build. So you're trying to figure out what is the ideal payload. If I'm actually, you know, carrying 6 blues, 2 purples, and a red, I'll be able to convert those, 4 of those 6 blues into 2 deflector dishes, but then I won't have enough space, but then I can convert, those 2 purples into medical, so you have a lot to figure out. But then once you actually get to Beta Foundry, which as you saw near the end of my extended playthrough, things get even tougher because you have a lot of stuff to do and it's very tricky. Your warehouse gets tiny and it becomes this huge bottleneck as you're trying to move stuff on and off your freighters. Try to get the stuff built, try to get the freighters empty so that they can get upgraded so you don't lose points, trying to get the stuff you build charged so they're worth more points, trying to make sure you have a nice ratio, you have a little bit of everything. It's just really sharp, and Jen, I enjoyed it quite a bit. For as a 2-player game, easily plays in under an hour, but it is a very tense, heavy, thinky hour. A lot of fun, and also I think the game actually provides quite a bit of replay value too, because every time you play, you're going to have different combination of recipes of what you're trying to build. You're going to end up with different hands full of aliens cards every time you draw, and so it's really going to be a fresh and different puzzle every time. So I mean, I just gotta say, I'm very impressed. My hat's off to designer. Oh my gosh, that's upside down. Oh dear. Designer Dan Manfredini, yeah. Great game. Really clever, quite unlike anything else out there. Very thematic, everything makes sense. Everything has a reason. That's not always true for Rondell games, which are kind of abstracted, but here, the abstraction of, hey, the longer it takes you to get your bay assigned, that means you have more time to load up your shuttle. That just makes perfect sense. It just works. So I'm just impressed across the board. Now, if you're curious about this, if you want to know what the final components look like, because everything you just saw today was a prototype, a very nice looking prototype, but if you want to check out the final components, there's a link to the Kickstarter campaign so you can learn more. And that's about it, folks. I'm trying to think of something negative to say, the and but, the yeah but honestly, I'm hard-pressed to think of anything. It's just really sharp. There's a great combination of short-term tactical planning and long-term strategic planning, because you know what you have to do in the second half. You have to find the most efficient way to do it in the first half. There's a bit of luck. The dice can go. You can, you have a Hail Mary and roll and get exactly what you want, but there's a 1 in 8 chance of getting exactly what you want. So, I guess maybe for some people that would be a problem if somebody gets incredibly lucky when they shouldn't have and they get to do a move, and that might, but that's pretty minor. And, quite frankly, I think for the most part we have found it's better to roll the die when the station is mostly empty or mostly full, so that you can more reliably, no matter what the die spits out, be able to get something good out of it. But anyway, fantastic game. Really smart design. Far Space Foundry. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to say goodbye right here. Talk to you later. So long. Keep on space trucking. Bye-bye.